Stand here for the tribe business, Heavenly Father, Lord. We ask you, Lord, as we go tonight, Heavenly Father, Lord, and go forth this day forward, Heavenly Father, Lord, we do our business for our Indian people, Heavenly Father, Lord. Do what right for our Indian people, Heavenly Father, Lord. I ask you, Heavenly Father, Lord, as we leave here tonight, Heavenly Father, I ask you to go with us too, Lord. You know there's sickness on every hand, Heavenly Father, Lord. That word cancer, Lord, is hitting hitting people's houses every day, Heavenly Father, Lord, you know. And we ask you, Lord, just to remember ones that's lost loved ones this past week, Lord, due to death, Heavenly Father, Lord. We ask you, Heavenly Father, Lord, just to guide us and lead us, Lord, tonight as we go forth. Jesus Christ, we pray, amen.
Amen. As we remain standing, Miss Janie, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Ted Woodell, would you lead us in our preamble to the tribal constitution, please?
With the inherent power of self-governance of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina, the tribe adopts this constitution for the purposes of establishing a tribal government structure, preserving for all time the Lumbee way of life and community, promoting the educational, cultural, social, and economic well-being of the Lumbee people, and securing justice and freedom for the Lumbee people.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Carvecus Barfield.
Here.
Sharon Hunt. Here. Janie McFarland.
Here.
James B. Hunt. Here. Ted Woodell.
Here.
Wendy Moore Graham here. Jared Lowry. Larry Chavis.
Here.
Douglas Locklear. Here. Reginald Oxendine. Jan Lowry.
Here.
Alvin Mercer.
Here.
Corbin Eddings.
Here.
Dewey McNeil.
Here.
Marshall Locklear.
Here.
Frank Cooper.
Here.
Annie Taylor.
Here.
Michael Chavis. Ricky Burnett.
Here.
Terry Hunt.
Here.
Mr. Speaker, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. At this time, I would like to read our ethics statement. In accordance with the Ethics and Conflict of Interest, Ordinance 2010-0312-01, it is the duty of every council member to avoid both conflicts of interest and the appearance of a conflict of interest with regards to any matters before the council today. Does any council member have a known conflict of interest or any perceived conflicts of interest with respect to any matters coming before the council today? If so, please refrain from participation in those particular deliberations during the meeting. Hearing none, let me say we welcome you to our Tribal Council meeting on July the 18th, 2019. We'd like to take and recognize, I see Mr. Spencer Locklear, who's with the Lumber River EMC Board. We're glad to have him. We also have in our presence one of our previous council members, and at this time, the chairman of the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs, Mr. Fernie Lambert. So it's good to have you here also, Mr. Fernie. So we appreciate you, and then those others that are with us tonight. As we move along, at this time, I would ask that we would review and need an approval of our agenda for tonight.
Second.
I have a motion to approve in the second. All in favor, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. At this time, if review and approve of the June Tribal Council minutes and the actions that were taken.
Mr. Speaker, I make a motion to review and approve of the June Tribal Council minutes in action.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the approval. All in favor of this, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And at this time, I have the sheet. We have no community comments at this time. So we will go into our committee reports. And at this time, as you see, it says Constitution Ordinance, Mr. Reginald, but who is not with us. This time, his vice chair, Mr. Corbin Eddings, will do that presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would draw everyone's attention to CLLR 2019-071801, entitled North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs Reappointment. If you would, let's move down to the third whereas. Whereas the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina is required to make nominations of the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs. And whereas the Constitution Committee of the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina has renominated Mr. Fernie Lambert. And therefore, be it resolved, the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina does hereby support and agree on the nomination of Mr. Fernie Lambert to the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs. Therefore, be it further resolved, Fernie Lambert will serve a 3-year term on the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And again, coming from committee, it requires no second.
Mr. Speaker, can I interject?
Yes.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Michael Chavis.
So, Mr. Mike, good to have you. Madam Secretary, roll call vote. Oh, excuse me.
Correction, under the certification. Is that right? Okay. Okay.
Still, it should be to 21, though okay. Thank you, Ms. Jan, for that. Secretary?
Carvecas Barfield,
Yes.
Sharon Hunt,
Yes.
Janie McFarland,
Yes.
James B. Hunt,
Yes.
Ted Woodell,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, yes. Larry Chavis,
Yes.
Douglas Locklear. Yes. Jan Lowry,
Yes.
Alvin Mercer,
Yes.
Corbin Eddings,
Yes.
Dewey McNeil,
Yes.
Marshall Locklear,
Yes.
Frank Cooper,
Yes.
Annie Taylor, Michael Chavis, Ricky Burnett,
Yes.
Terry Hunt.
Yes.
Unanimous, the motion carries.
Unanimous vote. Mr. Fernie, congratulations. We look forward to your service representing us at the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank all the council members for support.
Thank you. At this time, moving along, if I could draw your attention to the calendar review. Is there any addition to the month of July? And you have before you, on the 23rd, we have our federal recognition, economic development, and education. And on the 25th, we have a continuation of our budget work session at 6:30. Nothing else for the month of July. If I could draw your attention to the month.
Mr. Speaker, excuse
sorry.
me. I'd like to set another ethics workshop session on the 30th of July, which would be Tuesday.
Ethics workshop?
Yes.
Okay. Ethics workshop on the 30th, which is a Tuesday. What time, Ms. Carvecas?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Anything else? Let us go to the month of August.
Mr. Speaker,
Miss Annie,
House on the 1st, 6:30,
that Thursday.
that Thursday.
Housing, 6:30. I believe I saw Ms. Marshall. Dr. Marshall, I'm sorry.
We'll take the first, health at 7:30.
Health at 7:30.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Corbin.
Constitution and ordinance on Monday, the 5th at 6:30.
Constitution, 6:30 on the 5th.
Mr. Speaker, education on the 5th.
Education on the 5th, 7:30. Anyone else? Dr. Marshall?
Let's change health to the 5th at 8:30.
Yep. On the 5th at 8:30. So change it from the 1st until the 5th of August. Ms. Sharon?
Can we add a budget session on the 1st at 7:30 since we'll always already be here for housing?
Yeah. Finance at 7:30, Ms. Sharon? Following,
Just make it
Yep.
a finance meeting instead.
okay, finance meeting. Be a finance meeting at 7:30 following housing on August the 1st. Yeah. Is there anything else for the month of August? Nothing?
Mr. Speaker, if I could, for the economic development on the 6th at 6:30 and federal recognition on the 6th at 7:30.
Economic development, 6:30 on the 6th, and federal recognition to follow on the 6th.
Mr. Speaker,
Kovekis.
I know the meetings go on whether we're here or not, but I'll be out of town that whole week of the 6th. I'll be away until the next week. And I'd like to be here for your federal recognition meeting, but if you want to schedule it, then that'll be fine, but I will not be able to make it.
Thank you, Ms. Karvekas. Addition to the month of August. Calendar review. Need a motion to adjourn.
But before we adjourn, this wouldn't actually go on our calendar, but did want just to remind everyone, the final showing this weekend of the Lumbees Ladies of the Darkwater is Friday and Saturday in Fayetteville.
And if you don't have a ticket, I would strongly recommend calling and getting one because they're getting gone. Yeah. Good. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn, could we get Mr. Fernie Lambert to come to the mic and say a couple words? Maybe give us an update or just say hi or something?
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, I'll make the trip a waste.
Okay. Again, I want to thank all of you for your support. And I've been on the commission for quite a while. And in 2016, I was appointed chairman by Governor Pat McCrory. And we've had our challenges, as Preacher Ricky can tell you. In fact, 1 week from tomorrow, we have a hearing, and it's going to be on the Tuscaroras. I can't tell you which way it's going to go or anything like that, but we will know at 3 o'clock 1 week from tomorrow. And behind that group is several other groups just waiting to start the process. And it's a very tedious process. And we're looking forward to it. I can say one thing. Mr. Laurice Hunt, he has done a super job as chairman of that committee. And along with the other ones that's on that committee. There's something I found out a week or so ago, and it really bothers me. It's coming out of Charlotte. The person in charge of the urban group up there, and they're pretty much all Lumbees. And this person put out on Facebook that the Lumbee tribe and LRDA should not let blacks attend Lumbee homecoming. Now, this person is in a leadership position. It's, I would hope that maybe Preacher Ricky or the chairman can communicate with this young lady. And it's really bothersome. And in fact, I had a person tell me this afternoon that my name was on the Facebook from the same person. Personally, I don't do Facebook, and I'm probably better off by not doing it.
Amen.
But is anyone? Let me get back to these groups that's behind this. 10 years ago this December, we sent some paperwork to the commission to put some land in trust. And this December, I've been working on it for 10 years, but just recently, our attorney from the DA's office, Attorney General's office up there, he's got some time and he's working on it and he's trying to push it through real fast. And whenever it does happen, it's going to be historical. So the Council of State, they probably won't know what to do with it or how to do with it. But with the lawyer that we have, he'll get it through. And I would love to see all the council members up there when this takes place at the governor's office or another building real close by. But looking forward to it. And one of the things our folks were a little skeptical about putting land in trust. They didn't know whether the state would take it or what. That's not the case at all. You can do everything with the land that you did before you put it in trust. But if something could be done, we could negotiate with the county commissioners on being excused from paying tax on it. In fact, I've talked to the chairman about the possibility of Maxton Pond. And I'm sure that's a pretty good sized tax bill for that and the land that's over in the part of it's in Scotland County. Scotland County has high taxes. So, but does anyone have any questions? Please keep in mind about what I said about what went out on Facebook. And one of the reasons it bothers me, the past 2 years, we went 50 years without the Marine Band here. Well, I got busy last year working with Mr. Harden. And I got in my car and I went down to Camp Lejeune and I went to Public Affairs, took paperwork, and a week later I got an email from them. They were going to do it. And I believe they did it again this year. But my point is about what went on Facebook there. That band has several blacks in it. And, you know, the Marine Corps get hold of that. We won't get another military band, not Marine band here. I put 28 years and 13 days in, and I know that they will not stand for that. So if we can quieten it, we need to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fernie. Thank you for all that you're doing and all that you've done, Mr. Fernie. We appreciate you. We sure do. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, stand to your feet. I'll ask Reverend Michael Chavis, if he would, to dismiss us in a word of prayer.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for gather together, Lord. Our people, a people that you for purpose. Guide us through our individual processes and collaborative efforts to.
Amen. Good.
Right, you got to stay here.